I don't know if it's pronounced Countach or Countach. Like, I'm not sure about that. Let me see. It's pronounced... Well, you won't see how it's pronounced here. I mean, it's Italian. Wouldn't it be... Well, I don't know, honestly. I mean, I might know a little bit about Italian, but not enough to know that. Does anyone know how it's pronounced? Countach or Countach? Well, I could Google it. I mean, well, the problem is that this shit is gonna start. Wait, give me a second, game. Lamborghini Countach. Let's see. Oh, fuck. Damn it. Alright. Maybe on the next race. Damn it. That's the good thing about Wikipedia. A lot of times Wikipedia shows the an audio with the pronunciation of whatever you want to pronounce, right? Well, whatever, it's usually the name of the article. So it's nice. I also don't know what Countach means. Because, you know, most of these cars don't have, like, invented words for names. Like, they actually have real words. I don't know which one, what that will mean. Maybe it means count, as in, you know, the power position count, right? The royalty thingy. I don't know. All I know is that it's a pretty cool looking car. Especially in this color. Looks so clean. So wonderful.
It's the final lap.
I also remember that the knockout in this game is a lot harder at the beginning and then it becomes easier. You're not gonna be getting good results on the first races, but that doesn't matter. As long as that bad result is not last place, we can keep going until the end. Tomorrow I'm definitely gonna try that game that is remaining, like that Porsche game that is the last PlayStation 1 Need for Speed game. I want to try it, but yeah, if I don't like it, just like today, there is gonna be a plan B for sure. Hopefully I do though. Though, as I said, already the fact that it's centered around Porsche is, you know, I doubt it that I would like it. But, you know, you never
That's
know.
your best lap. You
All right.
placed third.
Let me see what Wikipedia has to say about this car. Fuck, it doesn't have an audio on the Spanish Wikipedia, or maybe it has it in the...
You've got a top 10
yeah,
time
this.
for this
Pronounce this. You're not gonna pronounce it. Damn it, but it says... fuck, dude. It basically shows you the phonetics. Like it's... But I don't know how to read phonetics. Like, I have no clue how that's pronounced. I mean, for what I'm seeing, it's kind of like Countach. No, I don't know. I don't know what that last symbol means. It's like fuck. Okay, let me see if I can find it in this table. Like okay, so it's Countach. Countach. I think that's how you pronounce it. Well, that's a pretty...
2, 1.
I think it's Countach. Judging by that phonetics table, it should be like that. Alright, well that's an interesting name. Countach. Lamborghini Countach. Alright, I'll take it. Though, it will be useful to learn phonetics, not because of English, but because it can be applied to any language, you know? In this case, it's Italian, because that's, for what I understand, it's an Italian word. So, you can just read anything as long as you know how every symbol is pronounced. But it's such a pain in the ass, you know. Such a pain in the ass to learn something like that. Though honestly, if I was able to learn like Japanese katakana and hiragana, I'm pretty sure I can learn that as well. The problem is that I don't think I will be able to practice it too much. It's not like you run into phonetics every day. Well, you also don't run into Japanese every day, but you run it more often than fucking phonetics. Like, unless you read a lot of dictionaries or books, you're not gonna see phonetics show up. Or Wikipedia articles, you know. But it will be nice. I guess in that regard, that's something that Spanish really spoils you, right? Since the Spanish pronunciation is so good and so consistent, you don't need to learn that. You see a letter and you know how to pronounce that letter, because it will be pronounced like that everywhere it appears. And the exceptions are so little that it doesn't matter, because they are not only little, but they are also consistent. Come to Japan.
The final lap.
But if I go to Japan, I'm not gonna be able to learn phonetics. You know, that's the problem. It's like the whole point will be moot. You know, will be kind of useless. Oh, careful. Something that I realized is that this car is... Well, I mean, I realized it since the first race, but this car kinda sucks at steering. So, even if my rivals are not gonna have better cars, I think that not having a good car myself isn't really gonna do me any favors. But let's see how far I can get, though I also want to see what type of car my opponents are using. Like, I actually didn't check after the first race. Because if my opponents are using the Diablo, then there's basically no reason for me to be using this car. Like, I'm basically just handicapping myself by doing that. I want to see what the first and second place are using. If they are using this Countach, If they are using that, then well, too bad. But maybe they are not using.
That's your best lap. You placed third.
Yeah, well, the red one looks like the same car that I am using. I don't know about the purple one. Let's see. What are you using? It's a Countach, and that's the... Wait, that 355 is the... What car is that? Is that a Ferrari?
Congratulations.
I think that was the Ferrari. Probably. Because it says F1, and the first thing when I read F1 that comes to my mind is the McLaren. But I think the McLaren wasn't in this game, right? So it can't be the McLaren. Or I think I remember it not being in the game.
3, 2, 1, go!
Man, now that I mentioned McLaren, there is a game that is so good, and it's Drive Club. What a nice game. It's a shame that it's dead. I think they even pulled it out of the store. So the only way to play that game is to either somehow emulate a PS4 or already own it. And I own it, so technically I should be able to play it. But, you know. It's very fucked up. I mean, I know that developers can do that whenever they want, and they are in all their rights to do that. But, like, come on, bro. It's like it reminds me of those artists that take out their art from the internet, and unless you downloaded them, there is no way to access it. It's like, come on. I know that you have all the rights because you are the one that owns it, like, sure, but I feel like when you publish something, even if it, yes, obviously belongs to you, it kinda... It's something that once it's out there, it should belong to the public. Obviously, with whatever restrictions that comes with, right? Like, obviously, Drive Club is not a free-to-play game, so yeah, it's available to the public as long as you pay for it, of course. But what I'm trying to say is that it should be something that should always be available with whatever conditions were initially stipulated. That means that if a game was available at a price, you shouldn't increase that price. You know, it should be available the exact same way it was as when it first released. What will I do without my gigabytes of Heiri Kanako? I don't know. But yeah, it's unfortunate that, well, obviously nothing lasts forever, and that applies to anything you could think of. But it's kind of sad that there are some things that I feel like they, you know, should be a little bit more... should be protected by something. I mean, the Internet Archive exists, but that's not a flawless method. And it's also not something that will always be there, you know. But yeah. Sometimes it's just hard to accept that it is indeed true that nothing lasts forever. Sometimes it's very easy to take things for granted, but especially since, you know, when you kind of get used to the fact that like they were always there, you kind of start taking for granted that that will keep being the case forever. When in reality, sometimes that is not the case.
That's your best lap. You've won the race.
My best lap, which includes a backflip right in the finish line. Pretty nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I don't know. It is, regardless, you know, something that you should be ready for. If you really like something that is on the internet,
3,
download it.
1,
You know,
go.
like if you really like something, regardless of what that something is, whether that is an image or a video or a game or I don't know, a comment section, whatever it is, download it. Just download it. You know, sometimes it doesn't take that long. I could understand that maybe for videos, especially if they are long, it will be a hassle and whatever, but if you really like them, you should always download them. Because you never know how long they are gonna stay up in the internet. And there is a saying that says that once something is on the internet, it will never go away. Yeah, as long as enough people give a shit about it. Or not even enough people, as long as the right people give a shit about it. And by right people, I mean the people that do backups and stuff like that. But yeah. Oh wow, I thought I needed to respawn that, but I actually didn't hard crash. Another thing that I also recommend if you want to do this whole backup thingy, obviously, is to purchase a lot of hard drives. That's the whole point. I personally am not too much into backing up stuff. But if you are that kind of person, you should definitely purchase a lot of hard drives. In this day and age, after all, hard drives are extremely cheap, at least compared to what they used to be, right? So it's never a bad idea to stock up a couple of those. So many albums have been lost to time. Yeah, I mean, a lot of things have been lost to time, you know. Not just albums.
It's the final lap.
All sort of media was lost to time at some point. And there's nothing you can do about it. Unless, again, you really care about it and you take the correct measures to keep them. I remember, though it's not something that I really care that much about. But you know, there was a VTuber that made a cover of the song "The World Is Mine," and I thought that cover was very good. Only to realize that some months later the video is gone. Even though it's a very popular VTuber and the song is as popular as it gets, no, it's gone. Why? Because fuck you, you know? Good riddance. No, but see, that's the problem. I say the VTuber and you immediately got your hate boner. But here, the fact that it's a VTuber is an anecdotal info. Here she was just singing. In fact, the video didn't even have that sluggish VTuber model. It was a 2D image. Like a still image. That's it. It didn't have anything else. See, it doesn't matter what you say either, Yami. Well, it never does, but I mean that, you know, in this particular case, the fact that it's a VTuber doesn't matter. You know, I could have said it's just a cover artist, and you wouldn't have said anything. You know, that's just because you have a hate boner. Also, how is it going, Yami? Check Nico? No, I don't think that's the case. I mean, the VTuber that I don't think that VTuber is in Nico. So many VTubers got their content purged for some reason. Something company contract. Yeah, but see, okay. But that's the problem. This is just a cover. It's not like it's a playthrough or some drama or some stupid shit. It's a cover of a song.
That's your best lap.
You know, something that anyone can do. Something that I can do if I knew how to sing. I probably shouldn't have said the word VTuber because now you're trying to make it go to that place, right? Like the conversation. No, the fact that it's VTuber has nothing to do with it. It could have been Mr. Panchito, right? And it wouldn't change. Like, let's say that Mr. Panchito did a very nice cover of Caracasa-san is here, or Here Comes Caracasa-san, whatever you want to translate the title. Like, if it disappears, it's the same issue. Come on. Are you seriously gonna drop that bait with a diminutive? Really? That's like the lowest hanging fruit that you could think of. Unbelievable. Bonus points for being a VTuber? Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, no Gabi loyal. Will be terrible. I mean, sometimes well, obviously, like a lot of people do, sometimes I do try to sing when I'm in like the shower or whatever. Like many people do. And the problem is that it's one of those things that it really is a skill issue. Getting to some notes is very hard. If you don't practice constantly and you don't train your voice, and sometimes even with all the amount of training in the world, it's just not physically possible for your vocal cords to reach some notes, you know. So, yeah. Miku sings from your heart. Miku literally cheats because it's using software enhancers, you know. I mean, sure, I could cheat too. I could use auto-tune. But it sounds like shit. I don't wanna do that. everyone that overuses autotune sounds like absolute trash. I mean, using a little bit of it is fine, especially if you're trying to give it like an echo effect to the singing. Yeah, that's okay, alright, like whatever. But if you only use nothing but autotune to sing, then no, no thanks. I mean, you could say that Vocaloids are basically a living autotune, but I mean, it's different.
It's the final lap.
Because, because I refuse to elaborate. Well, no, I mean, in reality, it's because, it's a technology that allows anyone to perform like a singing voice without even using their voice. And depending on how you tune the Vocaloid, it doesn't even sound unnatural. The lizard diet? What you mean by that? Reverb on raw vocals sounds awful. Gotta tune it. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if you overuse autotune, it just sounds terrible because, at that point it feels like again, it depends on how obvious you make it sound. I mean, in that case, I guess it's a fair comparison to like compare Vocaloids to autotune, because for Vocaloids, if you don't tune it perfectly, if you don't tune it well, it's gonna sound extremely unnatural, right? And with autotune it's the same thing. Sometimes, if you don't really pay attention, you might think that someone is not even using autotune when in reality they are fully using it the whole song. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day it's a matter of tuning. You will make a good producer? No, I wouldn't. I mean, again, you gotta understand that making music requires a skill. Like, it's not just about how much willpower you have, Oh, that's what the lizard's diet is?
That's your best lap.
Interesting.
You've won the race.
It's a popular thing to say here, and you change the second part as you see fit.
Congratulations.
Alright, sounds nice. Personally, of the things that we say here, I'm a very big fan of well, we have the name of a doctor, right? We have the... No, it's okay. It sounds so dumb that I don't even want to say it. So no, forget about it. But it's pretty funny. Then there are also some more basic ones that are actual names, like for example, I don't know, Clemente, right? Normal names that can be turned into traps. But yeah. A doctor. No, it's not doctor. Anyways, for what I was saying, no, producing music requires talent. If you are not talented, it's... Well, requires, again, not just talent. It requires talent, effort, dedication, and, you know, lots and lots of time. And I don't want to dedicate that to music producing. Maybe if I wasn't streaming, maybe I could turn music producing into my hobby. But streaming is a hobby that I like a lot. I mean, playing video games is a hobby that I like a lot. But streaming basically amplifies that tenfold. You have determination? No, I don't. Besides, see, here's the thing. Imagine I was a Vocaloid producer, right? What will I even produce? I don't know Japanese. I mean, sure, they are Spanish Vocaloids, but I don't want to compose songs in Spanish. I could compose them in English, but I also don't feel like composing English songs. I rather, you know, do scat singing rather than a language in particular. Yeah, I know Miku can speak Spanish. I mean, any Vocaloid that can pronounce Japanese by default can also pronounce Spanish. Yes, I am aware. The phonetics are pretty much the same. So yes, I am aware that's the case, but that's the thing. I don't want to compose songs in Spanish or any language for that matter. You know, at least see, the thing about composing songs in Japanese is that if I knew Japanese, since composers don't care about how nonsensical the lyrics are, I can just make whatever, and I can make a song that the meaning is almost non-existent, that is not gonna stand out. But if I make a song on English or Spanish, unless I make like a fun song that has dumb lyrics, it's gonna sound awkward if I don't make lyrics that make sense. And I don't want to make lyrics that make sense. I'm not a writer, nor I aspire to be one. I remember there was a time, I think, in elementary school that we had homework that was basically writing a poem, right? It was like literature homework. And the teacher really liked the poem I wrote. And she was like, "Dim, do you want to enter this poetry contest? Because you seem that you could be good at this." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to." I mean, I wrote that poem because it was homework, not because I give a shit about poetry. It's kind of like programming, you know? I mean, I'm not bad at programming, but it's not like I particularly care about being a good programmer. Maybe at some point I did, but not anymore. The universe is split in two at that very moment. What I remember at that very moment, because I wasn't the only one. It was me and like I think two or one other guy. And the funny thing is that I think we both said no. And the teacher called us cowards. That's something that to this day I haven't forgotten. A teacher calling me a coward. It was pretty funny. Yeah, you're a coward for not entering a shitty poetry contest. Alright. If it makes you sleep better at night, sure. Yeah, it was funny, and it's still funny. Like, I even remember the expression that she had, like the expression of disappointment. It really was funny. Like, the realization that nobody gives a shit about your shitty ass assignment. Like nobody cares about what you teach, that we are just here because we are forced. That realization, it's so beautiful. Like, no, ma'am, nobody cares. Nobody here cares about poetry. Sorry to break it to you. We are here because we are forced. We don't have another choice. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why doesn't she enter the contest, right? If you like that contest so much, just pretend you're a kid and enter. I mean, after all, there are a lot of women that have it very easy to look younger. Oh, this one look kinda young, not that young, but I don't think it will pass for a kid. But you know, I will be shameless. I mean, not as shameless as calling us cowards just because we didn't want to enter a shitty poetry contest, you know? Oh, by the way, we made it to Empire City. All this talk about poetry, I almost forgot that this is the whole point of this knockout mode. You know? So, what will happen here? This is a very chokeable track, and this car is not particularly good at steering, so I think that any outcome is possible here. I mean, I obviously hope for the outcome where I win, but need to be ready for whatever happens. Anything can happen, and I'm ready for it. She really wanted you to become a producer? You think so? I wonder, you know that a lot of teachers were very old, right? That one wasn't particularly old. But the point is, I wonder, because all of them obviously weren't of the same generation that had Vocaloids, right? I wonder what would they think if they listened to a Vocaloid. How long it will take for their ears to bleed. I wonder. Like, that's the question. The question is not if it will happen or not. The question is how fast it will happen. How much tolerance there will be at first. It's a very nice question. Not for Kaito? What you mean not for Kaito? It will be especially for Kaito. Yeah, I don't think I would like to put Miku singing Cumbia. That doesn't seem like a good idea. I mean, it kinda sounds hot at first, because Cumbia is absolutely degenerate, dirty, and rancid, and making Miku sing something like that kinda sounds arousing. But nah. They are standards, you know. They are standards, and that kinda is below the standards. Oh, no thanks. But I will be curious, though I'm pretty sure there are already covers of that. But yeah. on an unrelated note, I'm actually doing pretty well here. So I'm assuming that using a slow car was truly the answer to this. Because my opponent doesn't have a much better car than I do. So because of that, the AI doesn't get very far. Though it's not over yet, and he's keeping up. Sorry, he's catching up. So let's not count him out yet. But it is still something that can happen. There is still one more section with columns that I can choke because I can just run into a column. But if I'm able to get through this one, we got it. So we will see what happens. Yeah, there are 3 corners left. And fucking up these corners is kinda hard. Oh well, that corner could have been fucked. Considering that it has a wall. And there you go.
That's your best lap. You've won the race.
Damn. All this talk about the fact that I needed to try hard these knockouts, and I do both the Need for Speed 2 and Need for Speed 3 on the first try. Just like that. Damn. I really thought it was gonna take longer, but no. First try both. And we both reached the same top speed. That's pretty nice. Well, I win. Get on. So with that, I'm assuming that I unlock Empire City, which is not available if you don't do this. Yeah, there it is.
Congratulations. You've won the knockout competition.
You have earned Empire City. I like the wording. You have earned, not unlock or not any other verb, but earn. I like that. It sounds even more powerful. It's like you deserve this. Here, have your Empire City, King. I like it. Pretty nice wording game. I am a fan. Yes, and if you want to keep it, well, first of all, let me see if it is there, because maybe the game is lying. No, it is there. There you have it. Empire City, well as the rest of the tracks, which in total are 8 tracks. Well, 9 with Empire City compared to the previous one. Though these tracks are mostly just different versions of, like, the different paths of the same track, but it's still pretty nice.